Alright team, so this is the last video in this video series and it's going to be on the reinforcements. So we know your conscious mind is the team leader, section commander, scout, gunner, medic, subconscious bodyguards, heroes. Throw trauma in, that skips the conscious mind out, they morph. Scout becomes paranoid assassin, gunner becomes the werewolf, medic becomes the ghost or the vampire, depending on how she manifests. Alright. Now, what do we do when they manifest? Okay, what's our IAs when someone manifests one of these three things? So whenever I talk to anyone, I listen to their language, I listen to the energy, and it'll tell me straight away if they're one of those three, which one they are. So if they're very defensive and avoiding questions, this, that, and the other, and just checking information out, I know that there's some sort of paranoid assassin going on there. And I take my hat off to them. For them to actually reach out is a big deal. That's what's so important about video and social media, is you can reach out without connecting. That's very important for the paranoid assassin. Okay, so I created some reinforcements for the villains. So we know that the paranoid assassin characteristics is not being seen, not connecting, magnet on opposite polarity. Number one skill, cam and concealment. They're concealing themselves, but they're still watching, right? They're still looking down that scope, watching everything that's happening. So I needed a reinforcement that could interact with the paranoid assassin that was also a master of cam and concealment, could also communicate over distance, and was a master looking through the scope as well. The characteristic that I needed for that reinforcement was patience. So which role within the military is a master of cam and concealment, a master of patience, and still looks down that scope? All right, that's the sniper. Now, when I would go paranoid assassin and I would shut down, withdraw, go and lock away and build and write and do all my things, there were certain people that could reach out to me and have always reached out to me with patience and humility and taking their time. The key in dealing with a paranoid assassin is when you give them information, put it in a neutral space, stay away from it. And they can look at it through their scope, and you can communicate by text, by whatever, Facebook and all the rest of it. Okay? So with the paranoid assassins, you don't push. You've got to be really, really patient. It's heartbreaking in relationships between partners. If one of them's become a paranoid assassin, started to withdraw, and you mix that with the ghost of shutting those feelings down. Okay, starting to make sense. Now the werewolf. The werewolf's actually really simple to deal with. The werewolf gives you full anger, full noise, full energy when it's at full moon state. All right. So from full moon state, time and space. Don't add anything to it. If someone's flipping out as a werewolf, just turn around, walk away. Just, you add anything to that, you're throwing gasoline on a fire, unless you know a silver bullet. And here's a story I'm going to tell you. We had an army padre who read the book to process it as a tool, figured out halfway through it that he was manifesting as a werewolf. So he actually sat down with his family, went through the process of the book, and said, well, how would you describe me when I'm like this? And his son actually said, his son was 10 years old at the time. His son said, Dad, you're not a werewolf because you don't look all big and scary. You're like Wolverine from the X-Men. You look the same, and then when you get angry, the claws come out. All right? So that was the son's description of the subconscious bodyguard of the gunner morphing and becoming not the werewolf, but Wolverine from the X-Men. So the silver bullet in that family, when that padre started getting angry, started manifesting as what we would call the werewolf, his son would say, Dad, put your claws away. Boom. Silver bullet straight to the heart. Oh, sorry, son. Okay, silver bullets only work when you create those in a safe space. All right. Now, the best reinforcement for the werewolf is the gunner. Gunner's not scared, and I like to use fight clubs and MMA and fight shops. Special shout out to Stu and Tash Chambers from Fight Shop New Zealand. You go into the cage as a werewolf, you throw full noise, and you get a skilled fighter that ain't scared of you. He's going to choke you out. All right, that's the gunner. The gunner's just as strong and powerful as the werewolf. He ain't scared, but he's got discipline and skill. Now, all of us that are warriors, we don't like losing. So at some stage, your conscious mind's going to come back and say to the werewolf, pull your fucking head in, I'm sick of losing. And it reverts back to the gunner, and then we can fight on equal terms and compete. All right? Excuse my language. Now, for the ghost or the medic, the ghost or the vampire who's more from the medic, they've shut those feelings down. All right? So what we want to do is have them exposed to a positive feeling without having them have to connect. And humor gets through a lot of that, because you can sit there and watch funny movies, watch funny videos, be surrounded by humor, not have to open up and connect to it, but you can bask in it and be exposed to it. Now, a good friend of mine, she suffers from the ghost and the vampire, and I'm a bit of a dick, all right? I'm a clown. So the reinforcement I created was the clown. So that you can jump around and be an idiot and clown around, and they can just sit there not having to connect, but inside their head and inside their heart, they're starting to feel that joy without having to connect. And then when she comes out of her dark space, she just looks at me and she goes, "You're a dick," all right? Because that just gets that feeling out, and then the love can come out after that, all right? Now, with a ghost and a vampire, you don't want to start throwing any finger pointing, any energy to that. Because again, she'll withdraw, or she can be just as flippin' dangerous. And remember, she'll pop up anywhere when you least expect it. If you've ever been asleep and you just felt that presence at the end of the bed and you're just frozen, you can't talk, that's her, all right? So she's very powerful. And when we get past all of this, when you get control of all of these, even the villains come in handy in the right circumstances, but that's for another lesson. So the reinforcement for the ghost or the vampire is the clown, all right? The gun is also good for the ghost or the vampire as well, because there's that quiet protective mechanism. It's like that big brother feeling. Now this is where things go wrong for domestic violence victims, all right? A domestic violence victim that's been psychologically, physically or sexually abused, has been attacked and taken advantage of, feels very vulnerable at risk. So she is always going to be attracted to strength. She's going to subconsciously be attracted to the gunner that's going to protect her, all right? However, they're still looking for strength in those that project the most strength. And the cycle keeps repeating, because it's not a gunner she ends up with, it's a werewolf, right? So I hope that makes sense. So reinforcements for the paranoid assassin is the sniper. The reinforcements for the werewolf is the gunner. The reinforcement for the ghost or vampire is the clown. And then when those subconscious reinforcements understand the other villains, they can actually help with some of the other ones. I've got a very, very good friend called Benny Moose. He's a sniper when I'm paranoid assassin. But he's also a sniper when I'm a werewolf, because he knows my silver bullets. All right, so the sniper mentality is fantastic. The clown also has to be real sharp and witty and be able to move away from all of these attacks. You don't throw a clown in there with a werewolf. When someone's raging, you don't want a clown around him and get his head ripped off. Yeah, and when you've got the ghost, you don't want to react like a werewolf, because you're going to spin all those things out of control. So, within the book, there are IAs for the heroes, there are IAs for the villains, and there are IAs for the reinforcements to keep you safe. From there, you need to find a guide or a master that can help you rebrief, redeploy, and retrain your subconscious bodyguards. And that's what I created in the Victory program. I brought psychs and counselors, sufferers, soldiers, police officers, emergency services. I put us all together. I gave them all the book. We all speak the same language. We understand the same process, my process, just one at a time, so that they understand context. Now they've got all their processes and all their solutions that can plug straight into it. So now when I talk to someone, they say, "Oh man, look, I'm suffering from the ghost or the vampire." I can talk them through the process of the book. They understand the book. They understand that there's nothing wrong with them, but they still don't have control yet. So they need someone to help with the training. If the section commander can't help with the section, the platoon sergeant will step in and help. All right? That's what the PTSD solutions community is. I've just bought a whole lot of reinforcements. I've just bought a whole lot of guides and masters. I have bought instructors. All right? I don't call them psychs or counselors when I talk to my people. I say, "Hey, listen, you need to go on a course, bro. And this instructor is a ninja." All right? You're going to connect to him. His name's Dane Christensen. His name's James Greenshield. Her name's Kirsty Greenshield. His name's Sean Grant. Her name's Lisa Westgate. His name's Mike King. All these other people have written these fantastic books. Her name's Jazz Rawlinson. You can talk to all of these people that can help. And then you can talk to all my clinical psychs. You can talk to Heidi. You can talk to Debbie. You can talk to the other Debbie. You can talk to Jordan. You can talk to hypnotherapists. You can talk to an equine therapist. You can talk to the boys down at AVS Surfing. We're a community now. And it all starts with this book in your own head. If you haven't got the book, go get the book, man. $40 change your life. Now, if you don't like me, you don't agree with anything that I said, click the button below, go across to the PTSD Solutions community, find somebody else. You're not alone, you're not crazy, you can beat it. All right? It's natural. It's your highest level of training. You just have to rebrief, retrain, and redeploy your subconscious bodyguards. And then when you get to that stage, I've got a lot more for you. Because when you get to that stage, there's lots of missions that you can come on come and help other people that are going through what you're going through. Write a book, put videos together, help build this community. We got a mission, we got a team, and we got an enemy. If you're struggling not having value and identity, come across. We need people, man, because we're losing. All right, suicides are increasing, they're not going down. Here's one answer that works, and I've connected to quite a few others that work as well. We're in it to win it. The victory, team. See you later.